For the second time this season, the Cubs have lost 3 in a row after falling 8-7 in St. Louis, making a late push. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. Dansby Swanson has a chance to tie this game up, maybe even put the Cubs ahead. Ground ball, third base, Nolan Arenado, vintage. Maybe the only guy, Cliff was saying, who makes that play finishes this game, and that is how the Cubs would lose Game 2 of this series. So kind of a heartbreaker, right? 3 in a row now and making a push the whole way in this game, just trying to come back, recapture the lead late, and it didn't work out. Elise, Menaker, Cliff, Floyd in here for you. And Cliff, I mean, starting pitching, Jameson Towns struggled.
Yeah.
The bats tried to keep themselves in it, but it just wasn't enough today.
Yeah, so
and a late push, some late life.
Yeah, well, late life. Yeah, but I think when you look at the ninth inning, you know, there's question marks as far as do you question if Kyle Tucker should be running, you know, against Helsley, only because when you look at his career, in 14 attempts, there have been 12 successful, right? So I don't know if you want to push the envelope so much and start nitpicking on little things that's happening. You know, you like the rally, you like the situation, like the guy's up. It's the top of the, it's the top half of the order. So, you know, you like where you are. I mean, just coming up short, right? And this is what the reverse of this early in the season was. They didn't come up short.
Right.
Right. And they were blowing teams out. So
yes.
you love this. I mean, Tucker's as high as he can possibly be. But I'm just saying at times your star player has to push the envelope. I'm thinking because this knock here gives you a chance. We know, we've seen. Now, Dansby has great numbers against Helsley. He came into this game 5 for 7 against him. So you want him up there with the situation. And he almost comes through, right? I mean, he puts the ball in play against a tough righty on the mound with really good stuff. But he struggles with runners in scoring position. I think it's 141.
Yeah.
So you're taking a little bit of pressure off of him if you steal a bag and get a knock by PCA. But when you have this guy over at third base for the Cardinals and Nolan Arenado, you see how PCA tried to bother him mentally?
Yeah.
And he didn't even think about him. He actually had to make the executive decision to either go with the leather or the hand, and he went with the hand and made an accurate throw over there to his boy Contreras, who actually made a great scoop, right? He actually picked it, or you know, PCA scores. You can go down every line and you know, nitpick this and that. It starts with, you know, you getting 5 runs in the inning, and then the top half, and then come back and giving up
4.
2 in the bottom half.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that in itself is where, you know, Debbie Downer plays a big part early in the game.
Yeah, so you were talking about top of the third, they score 5, bottom 2, and then the next inning, Cardinals score 4, and that's kind of where they were playing catch up the rest of the way. And that's in part, we were talking about Jameson Towns, and we said this in the pregame show, the long ball. It could hurt him tonight. It did. And some head scratchers, maybe sometimes on pitch selection, just because he's had certain pitches, the change, the curve that have been really good against lefties.
Just can't make this pitch to Lars. It's just you can't do it. And I know he's going to say in his presser, some pitches you want back. 0-2 pitch right here, you know, to Mason Wynn, goes out the ballpark. Another ball that's just down to a lefty that can't happen. And these are all things that Jameson, as a veteran, knows that he can't let happen to him. And when you think about the home runs allowed, you know, it's one thing if you're giving up solos, and yes, he gives up solos, but you know, you can't walk guys and give up 2-run homers. You can't, you know, make the mistakes to down and in to lefties when we talked about in the pregame with Lance. I mean, the kick change, that's the reason for it. To have that ball go away from lefties and make him kind of flail at it or get some weak-induced contact and let him, you know, fly out to left. Me as a left-handed hitter, I would have hated that pitch because I love to do what these guys been doing.
Yeah.
You throw me a down-and-in cutter that misses, I'm gonna hit you out the ballpark. You throw me a down-and-in fastball at 93, I'm gonna hit you out the ballpark. You throw me a ball that's away, you got a better shot at getting me out. That's just what has hurt him with the long ball this year.
Well, the starting pitching ERA over the last 6 games now, 10-6-1. They've given up 14 home runs.
That's a lot, right? And
yeah, you're giving up long balls. You're trying to play catch up in a hurry then. And so this is what I'm talking about where, you know, they have been so good. And you give credit to the bullpen tonight. They did their job overall over the last 6 games by comparison, a 6.75 ERA that actually dropped. They were higher going into this game. And so it's odd because it's been clicking on all fronts and not now. Cliff, are you hitting the panic button? Marty is.
Well, I hit it early, and I said I was going to explain why. So, I mean,
You got it there? Oh, okay.
no, I'm just going to go
Are we
for a little bit
throwing up the red flag?
I'm going to panic a little bit, and here's why. All right, when you think about starting pitching, you know, that carries you through.
Yes.
You know, and starting pitching has been really, really good, even without Justin Steele in 7 weeks without Schroeder, right? And you have Colin Ray, who saves the day. Matthew Boyd was a great pickup great sign this offseason. He's been phenomenal. Then you have Javier Assad. He's not around, so you don't have the luxury of having him. And then the bullpen picks up the starters. So now you have, you know, you're closing the gap on games. You shorten the game as much as you can because the bullpen's been great. But at some point, you can't overcome what you've lost, right? It just happens in the sport. I've played it way too long, and I understand that, you know, these guys don't give you everything. Colin Ray gave you 12 of the best starts he could possibly give you. Yeah, he's going to have some hiccups every once in a while. Absolutely he is. But when you don't have two of your best starters, it's going to burn you at some time. Yeah. So you have to figure out a way to get back on track, win a few, and then get that mindset back. If you don't, panic will set in. It's just the nature of the beast. It's just the nature of the human side of the game. You're out there trying way too hard to do things. Well, when the last time you even thought PCA would make that mental mistake out there?
So you were saying earlier you don't want to nitpick, but I also would say there were probably situations that we can point to where it just hasn't been characteristic of them this season. The mental error from PCA in the outfield, the decision to bunt at the plate, you're nitpicking. We were saying, like, you know, with Tucker not going, it was an 0-1 count for PCA. But it feels like these things are adding up throughout a game, especially when you lose 8-7. They've been playing clean, good, fundamental baseball, and it feels like at times mistakes happen. Like, I'm all on board with understanding all of that, but when you need it, you just need the little things to win these games.
Yeah, when you start losing, you overthink. That's what it is. So this is the play right here.
Press,
yeah, you press a little bit more, right? You start trying to be Superman when everything was working perfectly fine. I've been here before. It happened to me in Philly. I never forget it. Arhal chewed me out. I was with the Mets. And I was an older guy. I was an older guy in the sport. The fans were on me. You know, I'm just not paying attention, and then you just get embarrassed. And it's embarrassing.
But it is, yes.
Yeah, it's when we can talk about it until we blow in the face. You know who's embarrassed as heck? Him.
Yeah.
Oh, you so embarrassed. Like, I went back out there and they were all over me, like just destroying me, right? And it's like, ain't nothing you can do. Arhal wore me out. Ain't nothing you can do. If Craig wears them out, nothing you can do. You know, people are saying take him out the game. What's that gonna do? You needed him tonight. I mean, yeah, you make a point, but what's the point? So you don't like it. It's coming at a bad time as far as the team and how they're playing. But I think when you think about the young man and everything that's going on, the decision to bunt, he's going to show his youth at some point. Do we think he's Superman? Absolutely, he's great.
Yeah.
But the youth part is going to play at some point where you're going, yeah, okay, we get it, you know, and you humble and you get back out there and do your thing. So. You know, we just kind of see where he goes from here. Yeah. As far as, you know, building the confidence to get back, you know, that out of that embarrassment part and move on. Because throughout his career, I don't think you ever see that happen again. No. But for the team and where they at right now, you know, it seems like the world's collapsing.
When it comes to PCA, I bet you tomorrow, after a day like today, he has a big day. That's just who he is. Yeah. And you were mentioning Craig Counsell. How does he respond? Well, let's hear what Craig has to say about that play in center from PCA.
Yeah, he just made a mistake. You know, obviously lost track of the outs, and it's just a mistake.
The bunt in the seventh come from the bench?
No, that's Pete doing it on his own, and he was trying to take it with him, and he just didn't get there. He left it right at the pitcher.
He's batting in that situation, clean up hitter versus everyone else. What do you think of that decision?
Well, I mean, it's against the left-handed pitcher, and you know he wants the ball in play. That's what he's thinking. Just get the ball in play, and he just made a poor bunt. You know, it's what happens when we give up runs. There's just balls in the middle, and you know probably the one to win is. You know, we had him 0-2, and that's the one you kind of really kick yourself on when you get someone 0-2 and give up a home run. But, you know, home runs are hit on, you know, pitches that find too much of the plate.
Reese getting pitching for, is he okay?
Yes.
So Craig saying Jameson Town catching too much of the plates. As a result, Cubs now 2.5 up on the Brewers and Cardinals. The Reds game still going on, so they even could be clawing their way back in as well. So the Cubs like to get back in the win column as soon as possible because these standings, they are starting to clump together. As Craig talked about, Jameson Town made some mistakes today. We're going to hear from the starting pitcher next, what he has to say about his outing and what he wishes he did differently next.